what my colleague just read, is that a warrant or a gazette? What is it?
Oh, that's a warrant.
Okay.
That's a warrant from the president.
Okay. So does that finalize? Is that what he, after doing that, that finalizes the fate of the Chief Justice?
Yes. Good morning and good morning to the listeners. Yes. Once the warrant has been issued, in my opinion, in my understanding of the law, that is the finality to the matter. Yes. So the Chief Justice has been removed from the office from the day the President issued the warrant. So Gertrude Torkornoo is no longer the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana. Yes.
And the understanding of what we've been told over and over again is that once the committee has made that recommendation, the President has no authority to decide otherwise.
Yes, that is the provision of the law. Just like once a petition has been sent to the President, he needs to act on it. The committee, when they finish their report, in fact, it is the committee that decides. And the decision that is taken, the Constitution has made it in such a way that the President will have no further say in the matter. So once the Constitution, the committee have come out with their own findings and recommendations, all that the President has to do is to act on the recommendation. He can do nothing more or less than acting. If he decides to do any other thing, then the President will be in contravention of the Constitution, which will also be an issue for him. So yes, he's supposed to act. And I think he has what he's supposed to do as far as the recommendation of the committee is concerned.
And now let me hear your own views on the conclusion of the conclusion of the committee and the recommendations they've made. The recommendation is that there's a case made against the Chief Justice, and then she should be removed. What do you think?
Yes, my personal view and my legal understanding of this whole issue is that this whole thing was held in camera, and I'm very sure we are getting snapshots of it. Now, the very detailed work we don't have. I heard Justice Kwame saying that they received over 10,000 pages of documents. So you can imagine the voluminous nature of the work that they had to conduct. So it may not be fair to just stand on some snapshots that one has and make a conclusion of the work that they did. But at this very moment, it is only those snapshots that we can deal with, because those are the facts that we have available. In my opinion, for all that I've heard in the media, I believe strongly that there are not enough grounds for which a Chief Justice of the land should be removed. Yes, I believe some of the things that she might have done or she did were not things that she should have done. So the question is, are they weightier enough that she had to travel and he went with the husband? Are they weightier enough to remove a Chief Justice from the office? If we lower the bar like that, it may not serve us well. And I think also that the President himself, whilst in opposition, and even in government, and not only the President, his past the NDC and the stalwarts of some of the stalwarts of NDC, I would say they have done a great disservice to the committee members, especially Justice Kwame. Justice Kwame is somebody that I hold, and I still hold in high esteem. If you read his, rulings, if you read his judgments, his dissenting judgments and other things, you see that he's a very deep man. And it is because of people of that stature and nature on the committee that I am very careful when I'm making any comments. Because when President Mahama was in opposition, he made it clear that the Chief Justice was going to be removed. Not only President Mahama, Chairman Esedin Ketia recently even confirmed that the Chief Justice will be removed. Why didn't they wait for the report? So, to some quarters, they feel that this is one of the campaign promises that have been fulfilled, and nothing more, nothing less. That is the problem that I have with the process that is taking place. Let me be very honest by stating that, personally, I feel some actions and inactions and conduct, there is not only verbal that we use in communication, there is also non-verbal communication. The posture of the former Chief Justice towards the then candidate, John Dramani Mahama, now the president, to me, they weren't the best. You could see vividly that it appeared that she harbored some level of dislike for President Mahama. That may be coming out of the comments, some of the comments that probably the president, when he was in also opposition, made against the judiciary. But so, if you are the Chief Justice of the land, you should live above some of these things. It shouldn't at least show in the open and in the public. But I also expected President Mahama to live above that threshold. But in my own opinion, he has also fallen into it. This thing that we are seeing today will live with us forever. I disagree with people who are saying that, when our party also comes to power, whoever is the Chief Justice is also going to be removed. No, that shouldn't be the rule, the route to take. But unfortunately, this is how I see it, that posterity will not be kind to President Mahama for this one thing that he has done. I'm saying so because I am of the opinion that the fact that we have at this very moment, they are not weightier enough to cause the removal of a Chief Justice. So it then appears that I said I was going to do it when I was in opposition. I knew the woman didn't like me that much, and I'm also going to pay her back. But that's not how to lead. That's not how leaders are supposed to conduct themselves. So that is my problem with this whole thing. But I also hate to say that the full report has not come out. No, I don't think it will come out. The caliber of people who sat on the committee, I have confidence in them. But the only reason why I have information are the comments that the sitting president, whilst in opposition and whilst in government, made about this issue, and especially the Chief Justice. That we're going to remove her, and now she's removed. Are we going to have another Ray Akoto? Ray Akoto happened years back. Now we have lectures on it. We look at and say that this is one thing President Nkrumah did that will count as one of his tactics. Is this going to be the case with President Mahama? That is how I see it. Unless a full disclosure is made, and we get to know that there were weightier matters aside the things that we heard on air. But taking the things that we heard on air, leading to the removal of the Chief Justice, in all sincerity and non-honesty, I disagree. And I think we've lowered the bar. What it means is that any Chief Justice can be removed. Because some of these things, my brother, we can all fall into them. That is why we put weight on them. It shouldn't be that, yes, the law says you didn't do A, you did A, and therefore that is it. Yes, although the law is the law, but that is why we also put weight on it. This, yes, he's committed this, but it is not weightier enough. So, in my own way, that is what I think about this issue. I know it is highly political. People who are in favor of NDC may disagree with me. People who are in favor of MPP may agree with me. But time, let's give time, and it will tell. I love President Mahama, his demeanor and everything. But with this one thing, it may go down in history as one of the worst things that he did. You see, at this time, the adrenaline is very high. We just left the elections, people, the political season and other things. But years down the lane, it will come out. People will reflect and put all these things together and come to a conclusion whether or not President Mahama did this nation a good service.
I followed the campaign in the lead up to the 2024 elections very keenly. Now, did you say President Mahama said they were going to remove the Chief Justice, or you said he raised issues with the justice delivery system?
What I mean is, I never heard him say that he's going to remove the Chief Justice. But he said, if I can paraphrase him, that the judiciary has to be, he said something. Reset or it was.
Yes, I think the word used is reset.
Reset, yes. They will reset the judiciary. And they came in and they made us understand that this is part of the reset agenda. And it started from the Chief Justice. The party chairman, no mean a person that Chairman Mercedes Ketia, recently came out openly that the Chief Justice must go. The chief communicator of the party was on Asampa Radio. I'm talking of Sami Gemfi. He also made categorical statements. And if you look at the posture of the presidential spokesperson and the words that he articulates, Honorable Kwachofosu, it becomes clear to you that there is one and only one outcome that the presidency is looking for, the removal. Because if anybody, an independent person has petitioned for the removal of the Chief Justice, at least we should see some level of neutrality.
You didn't see that?
I didn't see that.
In what form should the neutrality have been? Because the petition was submitted to the president. You said the president has no other choice than to forward that petition to the Council of State and the determination made. You said you have no issue with how the president has handled the petition. So where did the president go wrong for you to feel that he was not neutral?
You know, I mentioned Honorable Felix Kwachi. I mentioned the chairman of NDC, Chairman Esedin Ketia. I mentioned the chief communicator for the NDC, my brother Sami James.
Yes,
yes.
Those were comments. So,
yes.
And these people did not play any role in the handling of the petition.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, especially if it is coming from somebody like the presidential spokesperson. He speaks for the president, my brother. So in his comments, you go and pick the case. And if you be very objective, he almost always tried to side with the petitioner than Chief Justice of the land. It would have been better for him to have remained silent even in the matter. That would have helped. That's what I'm saying. It appears that the government was looking for one conclusion. And the same way, the opposition, the MPP, was also looking for one outcome, that the Chief Justice should not be removed. And in that essence, you ask yourself, why? Why is it that the MPP wants you there? Is it that there is something that they are also hiding? But in this instance, you are running the government, and you are supposed to be fair to all manner of persons. But I can bet you, my brother, with all the names that I've mentioned, at no one instance did you find anybody raising any issue that will support the case of the Chief Justice. No. No. All the issues that they raised were against the Chief Justice. And we expect them to be fair to their dealings.
But does that necessarily mean, because you see, there are two things you're talking about here. There's a process of handling the petition. There are those who make comments on what they think should be. Ultimately, you said you have a lot of respect for the man who chaired the committee. You know the members of the committee. Are you suggesting that first, the petition was put in by the NDC? Secondly, the NDC leaned heavily on the members of the committee to reach a conclusion that was favorable to them. Is that the conclusion you have arrived at?
My brother, justice, we say, must be served. And in your process of serving justice, it should manifestly show. So you might have done them fighting. But what is manifesting are those comments I'm talking about. So even if they did the right thing and the Chief Justice had to leave, because of the commentary around it, it changes. Let's not forget that the Ghana Bar Association was against its removal. And we even got a statement from, I think, that the Bar Association and the Wales or something, against this thing. Why are all other voices against? But the government says, no, you go ahead. We believe in it. It's good. That's the same way Charlotte was removed. And you see one side singing a certain melody. Now the tables have turned. And those sides have turned again. The ones who were praising the removal of Charlotte are now crying. And those who were crying for the removal of Charlotte are now jubilating. What kind of a country are we building? We are politicizing the issues in this country too much, because now whoever will be appointed as the Chief Justice, nobody has been appointed as the Chief Justice, but you can hear from the NPP, some of their commentators, that when we come to power, we will remove whoever will become the Chief Justice. With that attitude, we are not building the nation. You necessarily don't have to agree with somebody to work with. I believe at your place, you don't necessarily agree with everybody in your office, but you have to work with the person. If you agree with everybody around you, then you will not be doing the right thing. That's why in democracy, we need the opposition to put us on our toes. So my point is that, yes, they might have done the best, even if angels were to descend and listen to this, hear this petition, probably they would have come to the same conclusion.
Okay.
But the commentaries that have been dragged around it, it changed the whole thing. That's why I was saying that I would love to get the entire process and read it for myself and make a judgment for myself.
Okay. Let me conclude on this note. You said you feel that the things you've read should not be enough, even if they are found to be true, should not be enough to lead to the removal of a Chief Justice. So I want your view on something. What do you think a Chief Justice has to do in order for you to say that they've breached their code of conduct to the point where they must be removed?
Well, something in the nature of bribery, if it is found that the Chief Justice takes bribes, is to be removed. If it should be found that the Chief Justice is so incompetent that he can't even apply the rules and the laws as expected of her, she should be removed. If it is found that her health has deteriorated so much that she cannot function as she ought to be, she has to be removed. You see, these are matters that I find to be grievous enough to lead to the removal of the Chief Justice. As we speak, nobody is saying she's incompetent. Nobody is saying that she's not applying the law well. But we are all humans, my brother. We cannot, even me standing here, I cannot say that I will get everything right. That is why punishments have their skills. But to remove her on the fact that she traveled with the husband. We are in this country. You remember, somebody, after this petition came out, somebody also filed. He wanted to know the medical records and the traveling records of the Speaker of Parliament. And that was not given. Why was the person going that tangent? My brother, if we decide to go that route, which of our ministers, how many of our ministers are presidents will be able to stand this test of time? President Mahama, President Kufuor, all the ministers of FCC, all the ministers of NCC. How many people will stand this test of time?
Okay.
That is the point I'm making.
Okay.
It will be very candid with ourselves. How many? So does it mean we should remove all our presidents, all our ministers? Please, I think it is too harsh for what I have heard so far. The snapshot of traveling and other things. To me. But unfortunately, I don't have that legal acumen that Kwame and those who sat on the committee have. But with the little that I have, I believe it is too harsh.
Okay. Right.